Hello, everybody. Welcome to the world's greatest Bronze Age comic book podcast, Flea Market Fantasy. I'm your co-host, Michael, and as always, I'm joined by...
Michael Dell of the LCS Hockey Radio Show.
That's right. We've got a special guest this week. It was purely my idea.
No.
I planned this whole thing. Oh, hold on. What happened? No?
No, it wasn't your idea at all. It was my idea, because this is my week, and our buddy Kevin Jank is here. Kevin Jank.
I'm here to bring back the mullet.
That's right. Now, Jank, is this appearance number 8? Is that where we're at?
Yeah,
Thanks to
ahead
Lee.
of Miles Watson.
Wow.
Yeah, Miles was at 7, right? You were both at 7, correct?
That's right.
Yep. Up until today.
Thanks in the lead. Congratulations on that. But yeah, we're going to do Longshot issue 2 from, I think issue 2 is from 1985, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And because you mentioned on the show previously that you wanted to do an issue of Longshot at some point. And the last few times you've been on the show, Mike always invites you on, and then he forces you to do some dope Superman books. Every damn time. So
I suppose it could be worse than he could be forcing me to, read Batman issues and make me think that it was my idea.
What? It never happened.
So this time we're going to do something you actually wanted to read, Kevin Jank, and you were kind enough to pick Longshot issue 2 from 1985, written by our beloved Nocenti and drawn by the great Art Adams.
Woo.
Yeah. What a guy.
First time I've ever talked about Art Adams on the show.
I guess it is, eh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of crazy that it took this long because, if I'm listing my favorite artist, Art Adams he's right there, top 5, He's in there.
Yeah, I agree. He definitely makes my top 11.
Yeah, when I was a kid, he was probably my favorite. Like when I was 10, 11, 12. He was...
But I have to clarify, in the late 80s, he was definitely one of my favorites, but he did hit a point where his style kind of changed, and then I didn't like him as much after that.
Yeah, I have no knowledge of his career after 1987.
I know what you're talking about, Michael, but I still like it, even the stuff that's changed. It's a little bit more square nowadays. I want to say everything's more angular and kind of squared off.
To me, it's kind of like you can tell at this point he's incredibly talented, but he's also young, and he's kind of figuring things out, right? Like you can see some of the anatomy is not quite right and stuff like that, right?
Yeah,
but I feel like...
Yeah, this is his first major work.
Ever, yeah. But I feel like around 88, 89, it's almost like he started to instead of learning how to draw better, he just started exaggerating his own style. So it's like, okay, well, if I draw big hands, I'm going to draw them even bigger. And I'm going to draw even, women with big boobs, boobs are going to be even bigger. And that's unfortunately the direction he is now, I think.
I don't have any problem with that. You stick with what works. It's honestly, it's been a long time since I've seen him do any kind of regular work.
Right.
I think it's mostly just his covers in recent years.
Right.
But every time I see one of his covers, I'm like, hey, that looks cool. I like it.
Yeah, I really didn't do. I was planning to do in-depth research, of course, for Art Adams, but I was very busy today. I was I was planning a tribute for Norm Macdonald for the LCS show.
Awesome.
So I ran out of time. But to my recollection, Art Adams never had any extended runs drawing interiors of books, right? He would just come in to do 1 or 2 issues, maybe 3 at the tops, and then
a lot of annuals. I feel like the Uncanny X-Men annuals. He did a couple of them.
Yeah, he did about 3 in a row there of annuals, I think.
Even more, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and he said the annual he did in '88 for the X-Men. I can't remember what number that would have been, but he said that's when he finally felt like he understood how to do comics.
Oh, cool.
He felt like, I think he would have been 25, then 26. And he said it started to come together. Because he was not trained at all. No formal training in comic books, just self-taught. And he just started when he was a teenager, he started going to comic book conventions and drawing and showing his stuff around. And he got a couple gigs, these little, not like self-published kind of deals, like little fanzines, I guess is what I'm looking for.
Sure.
And then his work finally, I think Al Milgrom was the guy who discovered him technically for Marvel, because he was going through the submission file when he was cleaning out his office, Remember Mike L, we talked about Marvel Fanfare, how Al Milgrom was leaving, Carl Potts was taking over. So when he's cleaning out his office, he saw Art Adams stuff, and he showed it around, and some people got, and Ann Nocenti at the time was looking for someone to draw her Longshot series that she had penned.
Right.
And apparently every other artist in Marvel turned it down. No one wanted to do it.
Really?
So she got young Art Adams to do it, and issue 1 took him 8 months to draw.
Jeez.
Wow.
Because he was still learning his way.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple guys, his big influences, Mike L, I think you've mentioned this before, Michael Golden.
Right.
He said Michael Golden, issue 1 of Micronauts.
Right.
Blew his mind, and it changed his life, and he decided he wanted to draw comic books after he saw that. And then the other guy was Walt Simonson. And he said that
Nice.
X-Men, Uncanny X-Men versus the Teen Titans, that book that Simonson drew, he said that was like his Bible for how to draw comic books. He just studied that.
Wow.
And, so there you go. So those were his 2 heroes. And so he got the gig with drawing Longshot, and I said the first issue took 8 months, and to do the 6 issues, the 6-issue limited series, 2 years total. So he sped up after that. But he said even these days he doesn't draw. He doesn't draw quickly, because Mike, what do we say? Jack Kirby, he'd do 4 or 5 pages a day, right?
Exactly right, if not more. Yeah.
Art Adams says his record is like 2 pages, and he did that once, and he didn't like it. He said normally he does a half to 3/4 of a page a day.
Wow.
I can see that, because this stuff is so detailed. Like, there's so many little tiny lines in there that it's just like, this has got to take you a while.
And a lot of the times he works on like I whatever the standard is, he works on a larger page, and so he can put in more detail and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Well, also you can see, if you look at the first issue compared to the second issue, his style actually changes, eh?
Well, yeah, because he's so young. He's like, when he started this, he was like 19.
Right.
He started working on this book, and again, self-taught. So apparently, if you read all 6 issues, you can see his art improve issue by issue as it goes along. And now, when I was a kid, I was under the impression that this was an 8-issue limited series. So when we mentioned it before, I said I thought I had issue 5. I had issue 3. It's a 6-issue limited. I had issue 3. That's all I ever had, and I don't remember a gosh dang thing about the story. Now, Jank, do you have all 6 issues? Have you read the entire run here?
Yes, I bought all 6 issues a couple of years ago, and I actually did read them, unlike many of the comics that I end up buying and just never getting around to. But no, I did read the whole thing.
So what made you want to read Longshot here on the Flea Market Fantasy?
I mean, when you think of like 80s miniseries, it's pretty much, everyone talks about The Dark Knight and Watchmen and Longshot. Like those are the key ones that everyone talks about.
I don't think that's true at all. I don't think that's true at all.
Not quite true, but it is a cult favorite for sure.
For the art of Art Adams.
Yeah.
Like, not so much for the writing of Ann Nocenti, sadly.
God bless her.
Well, I wanted to pick it because like I like the X-Men stuff, and I know you guys have covered most of the X-Men books in the 80s there. So I figured we'll go a little bit out of the box and go with one of the miniseries.
Right. Yeah, our buddy Longshot, after this miniseries wrapped up, they were going to do a regular series. And Nocenti had idea they were going to do a regular series, her and Art Adams, and that series got scrapped. So then Longshot, he joined the X-Men, I think, in X-Men Annual 8, maybe, in 1986.
That's right.
And he stayed with the X-Men until 1989, like around issue 243 or somewhere in that area.
And he was there for all that Australia stuff and all that.
Yeah. And well, it should go without saying he was created by Ann Nocenti and Art Adams. And when Art Adams was designing the character, he drew inspiration from a musician for the haircut, Jack, an 80s musician. You know who it was?
Oh man. I feel like there were so many. This was a popular look. It wasn't Loverboy, was it?
No. But Mike L. Jank is an 80s music aficionado.
Oh, really? Interesting.
That's the question. It was the lead singer of Kajagoogoo. Or maybe not the lead singer.
Oh, yeah, Lamal.
Yep.
What the hell?
Yep.
I've never even heard of this band.
You never heard of Kajagoogoo?
Never, no.
Shy?
Too shy, hush, hush.
Hush, hush. How do I?
Never. I'm looking them up right now, and yeah, I see the one guy with like, it's kind of blonde on top and dark on the. It's kind of like a mullet, but the top is more like flayed out, right?
Yeah. Very poofy up top. And then just straight down the bottom.
But that is who Art Adams based Longshot on.
Wow.
I can see that.
And the other main character in this book is Ricochet Rita, a foxy brunette lady.
Right.
He based her on Ann Nocenti. That's who
I figured.
Now, did Ann Nocenti know that at the time, or did she figure it out, or?
I think he told her.
Ah.
Young Art Adams making his move. Hey, by the way, we'll talk about this cover here in a minute, I guess. But I'm not too big of a fan of this cover. But I noticed on cover 4, Spider-Man and She-Hulk's on the cover. And Spider-Man, Mike, if you pay look, he's got the squiggly webbing. Art Adams gave him the squiggly webbing.
Yes.
Like
but do you know who invented the squiggly webbing?
Michael Golden.
Michael Golden. That's right.
Yeah, Art Adams said he took it from Michael Golden.
Right.
But I didn't even realize, like, I thought McFarlane originated that. I had no idea.
No. Oh, by the way, just so you know, I just sent the picture of that guy. But
I know who he is. You don't have to
just to reiterate. But here's the thing. There's a lot of techniques. Like, obviously, when I was growing up, it was McFarlane on Hulk and Spider-Man. And a lot of the things that I thought he just invented, when I look at Longshot, I go, oh, this is Todd McFarlane, you know? Like, just even like the positions that women stand in, you know, the motion lines, you know, just a lot of, like, the way he draws mouths, the way he draws teeth, like, it's all McFarlane, you know? So this is where it came from. And then, unfortunately, Rob Liefeld also copied it. So.
Yeah, because one of the big things he also introduced with Longshot was heroes with, like, straps and pockets to hold things.
Yep.
Yeah. One of the greatest things that ever happened to the X-Men.
A lot of pouches. And Rob Liefeld took that and ran with it. But yeah, like, no jive. Art Adams is one of the most influential artists because he changed the whole generation.
Yeah,
like when
100%.
Came in 85, 86, everyone wanted to be Art Adams.
Mm-hmm.
And,
for a guy who had been in the business for about a year.
Exactly.
And he never had any formal training. He taught himself by looking at comic books.
Wow.
So it really is kind of crazy. He's also married to a comic book artist, Joyce Chin, I believe her name is.
Oh, really?
I think she draws, or she did, like, Xena, Warrior Princess, and some other stuff like that. And I also found out that Art Adams did a book called Monkey Man and O'Brien.
Yes, I remember that.
How was I not aware that Art Adams was drawing a book with a monkey? I need to get a hold of this immediately.
Yeah, that is right up your alley.
I know. Monkey Man and O'Brien. I'm trying to think.
You love monkeys. You love the Irish.
Oh, and you know what that was basically based on was DC's Angel and the Ape. Have you ever heard of Angel and the Ape?
Only when I read about Monkey Man and O'Brien.
Ah, okay.
It's all just based on BJ and the Bear.
Yeah.
Like, how old is Angel and the Ape? Is that like the 60s or something?
60s, yeah, 60s.
All right. I was going to say we could read that on here. Because Monkey Man and O'Brien is in the 90s. We can't do it on the show.
Damn. You guys picked the one monkeyless era.
I know. The 80s were completely devoid of monkeys. It sucks. All right, but getting back to the Longshot.
Couldn't get work.
Yeah, sadly. Getting back to the Longshot, though, Ann Nocenti, her idea for the character, because, again, she wasn't a comic book girl growing up. She didn't read the comics. She was looking at existential literature and stuff and metaphysics and things. And she wanted to just, she was inspired by the idea of luck. And what it means if you were to push probabilities your way, would that mean you're taking it away from someone else? So you're like, well, you're having good luck, someone else is suffering because of your good luck. And so that was kind of the inspiration for this book. And Jank, would you like to explain? Oh, another thing with Art Adams did with Longshot there real quick. Whenever Longshot uses, because that's his main power, he's lucky. Whenever he gets lucky, his eye glows. Like and we've seen that
like
before.
A starry kind of effect. I don't know about before, but it definitely happened after with Cable.
That's right.
Rob Liefeld ripped him off there. He took the pouches and he took the glowing eye. And Art Adams came up with the idea for the glowing eye because they used to have a one-eyed cat. And when he'd get in the backyard, he'd just see the one eye glowing. So,
wow.
Monkeys and cats.
Yeah, this is your spirit animal, this Art Adams.
But Jank, would you like to explain like the background of the Longshot fictional character? Like, because this book, I got to tell you, I had no idea what the fuck was happening.
Yeah. This kind of gets you. It teases the mystery of who Longshot is without giving you a whole lot to work with.
We should also mention, besides the mullet, he has 3 fingers and a thumb on each hand.
Yeah,
and
leathery skin.
Yeah, leathery skin. I had no idea that was a thing until this issue. Like, did they ever mention that in his X-Men run that he had leathery skin? I never.
They probably dropped that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. She's just like, your skin is like leather.
Yeah.
You're like Sybil Danning in Malibu Express.
How dare you? Mike, you don't realize that's a horrible insult that he just made to me. That he's
What was it?
He's making fun of my beloved Sybil Danning, an actress from the 80s. Who is known
I didn't know who that is. I have to look this
Spent a little bit of time in the sun.
How dare you? But anyway, Jank, fill the kids in on the Longshot, his fictional backstory.
All right. So Longshot comes from a different world called Mojo World. It's not really like a planet that you can go to so much as like an interdimensional, intertemporal, zone. It's this whole other universe where it's ruled by a guy named Mojo, who is basically, it's an entire world ruled by television ratings. So whoever gets the highest television ratings gets to rule the planet, and that's Mojo. He's the head guy.
That's pretty good though. Like in terms of social commentary and everything, for Nocenti, she's doing good work here with the concept.
Yeah.
So you can see where she's going for. But,
it's great because like all the people who live there are just these like fat blobs called the spineless ones who like don't
now
and watch
those
TV.
Same people are called Americans. But, all right. So
commentary I like because I didn't feel insulted by it. I'm still just sitting here watching TV. I'm just like, yeah, whatever, fuck it. I'm cool.
Who's this Longshot fellow though?
So Longshot is part of a race that Mojo, I guess, had his guy Ares or Ares, whatever you want to call him. He had him create this slave race, so that he could basically have them for entertainment. They could star in his movies or whatever, and he could kill them off and not feel bad, and like it would entertain the masses, basically watching these slaves struggle. And so the slaves kind of started to rebel at a certain point, and they started to kind of do some weird magic to get some powers, which is kind of where Longshot gets his luck ability.
Yeah, see, I never realized any of this until I was reading up. But yeah, they performed some weird ritual, and that is somehow how he got his lucky powers.
Yep. Yep. So he's always in a constant war to try to take down Mojo. But Mojo kind of it seems like he just keeps, erasing his memory and then sending him somewhere. And then Longshot has to figure out who he is again. And then he comes back and tries to fight him again. And it's just kind of a never ending cycle.
Yeah, we should mention this Longshot character. Longshot is like a real innocent fella. He's like a newborn baby almost. Right. Really naive and innocent.
Childlike naivete, yeah.
And didn't he also throw like little knives, like little daggers? Wasn't that his gimmick too? Like,
Yep. He's got little blades. He's kind of like Gambit in that way, except he just throws playing cards that blow up. But yeah, he just kind of throws little blades because he's so lucky that they all just, go right where he's throwing them. But we should mention his luck only works if he's got pure motives.
Yes.
Like being selfish or being a dick about it, then his luck powers give out on him.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot about that. And he's also very nimble and agile and quick and,
Oh wait, and he has a spine, but doesn't it bend weird or something?
He has a weird spine.
Bones, I believe. Is what they
like
say.
A bird.
Yeah. So he's very light. Yeah.
Light with leathery skin.
Of powers.
The leathery skin thing is the only thing that's just too weird for me,
Oh, I think he also has 2 hearts. I don't know how that comes into play.
That is
right.
Yeah. He has 2 hearts. 2 hearts.
Yeah.
Isn't that also a Kajagoogoo song? 2 hearts beat as one, or what was that song?
There's a Men at Work song called Man with 2 Hearts.
I don't know. But anyway,
must have been right about this time too in the 80s.
All right, so the idea for this book then is that Longshot and his people kind of trying to lead a revolt against Mojo, but it fails, and then he somehow gets his memory wiped, and he escapes Mojo World and comes to Earth. So then Mojo sends some folks to go capture him and bring him back, right? That's kind of like the premise.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Should also mention there's a another level to the origin of Longshot that gets really weird later on, where there's always a thing with, once they introduced Shatterstar into X-Force.
Yeah, I read about this today.
This guy's there's like, oh, maybe this guy's connected to Longshot, but Shatterstar was from 100 years in the future of Mojo World, and he was coming back in time to try to get people to help him. But then they showed that Longshot and Dazzler, who had been dating for a while, they stayed in Mojo World trying to fight Mojo, and they had gotten married, and then she announced she was pregnant, and you see this shot of her where she's just like, Shatterstar, what kind of a name is that? So she's giving Longshot shit, and you're like, oh shit,
right,
Shatterstar's their kid, holy fuck. But then the next time she shows up, like, I think Jean Grey asked her about the baby, because she's like, well, I can't sense life in you anymore. So what happened? She's like, he doesn't really answer. So it's like, oh, what happened there? Turns out much, much later, when both Longshot and Shatterstar were on the X Factor team that in the book that Peter Dave was writing in like the 2000s, near the end of that book, it was finally revealed the deal with the two of them, and it's quite weird. There's like a whole time paradox involved, where at the end of that book, like Richter and Shatterstar get shot with some kind of a beam that took them back in time to before Longshot was created. Ari is the guy that made Longshot, basically took Shatterstar's DNA and created Longshot and his race from that DNA, making Shatterstar Longshot's father, technically.
Mm-hmm.
But then it turns out that, yes, the baby of Longshot and Dazzler was Shatterstar. So he's basically his own grandpa. And the adult Shatterstar sent baby Shatterstar into the future just so that all of this would happen in the correct order.
What are they doing? What, like, who comes up with this bullshit and who says yes, that's a good idea? Yes, let's do that.
I loved it.
It's absurd. But along those lines, though, Jank, this Ricochet Rita, who we meet in this series, she then becomes Spiral, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was also a retcon, right? That was someone else's idea.
Yeah, because originally they were supposed to be. For those who don't know who Spiral is, she's like that 6-armed lady who was working with Mojo, and then she became part of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. And but they were conceived as two separate people. But then, like Mike L says, later they changed it, so then Ricochet Rita became Spiral. Is that what happened?
Yeah, because Spiral's already in the story. Like, she was already in issue 1, and she'll be in the other issues in this series. But she has the power to dance through time. So she was able to go back, and basically Mojo drove her crazy and gave her these powers, and then made her go back in time to set all this in motion. All the events that would turn her into Spiral eventually. So there's a lot of weird time travel stuff involved with Mojo World,
I guess.
Not what I want in X-Men comics, but whatever.
The other thing, when I think of Mojo,
all the Cable and Bishop and
Mojo, of course, Rachel Summers. He was wasn't he like keeping her prisoner and the Hellhounds and all that, and also the X Babies. Remember the X Babies? Oh
yeah, yeah, they were great. Remember when Mojo took Psylocke and like took her eyes out, but gave her like robot eyes so that he could record all the X-Men's things? Like,
well, he gave her robot because her eyes were taken out by a villain. What was his name? The Slayer, or what was that guy's name?
Oh, yeah.
Killslayer. Right?
That doesn't sound right. No.
Well, yeah. I'm gonna guess it wasn't that, but you're probably not far off.
I think it was. I don't know. He had an all black outfit and he wore a helmet and he had a mustache. And come on, Michael, you're Mr. Comic Books. He was in the Jasper Warp storyline. He just gouged her eyes out and blinded her.
I don't know. I mean,
Right.
I can cheat. I can Google this.
Yeah, that's what I was stalling for. Google.
Oh, I didn't take the hint. Let's see here. Okay, not Vixen. RCX, no. I'm just reading through here.
People have taken her eyes out.
Yeah.
Well, it's Thursday. We got to take out her eyes again.
Yeah. No.
Why she can't have nice eyes?
How come I can't find this? So she was kidnapped by Mojo, brainwashed, given cybernetic eyes, and she became the star of the new show Wild Ways. Then she got rescued, and then Roma needed her to be somewhere. No, I don't find it. I don't see anything about that. But that's it. That was it, right?
Yeah.
I gotta find it.
I don't know.
All right. So anyway, that's where we're at today. Longshot issue 2. Might as well get to it.
Yeah.
Mike, describe the cover for the kids.
First, I love the cover, but
I hate the cover. I think.
I love it. We'll talk about it.
I am not a fan of this cover.
It's a good-looking cover.
So,
Not a fan.
number 2 in a 6-issue limited series. Marvel, the classic logo. We got the corner.
By the way, Psylocke was blinded by supervillain Slaymaster.
Oh, why don't I see that?
Yeah.
Close.
Oh, I see it now. Slaymaster. Okay. But this happened in Captain Britain.
Yes.
Yeah, so I didn't read that. Okay. All right. Oh, his first appearance was in Super Spider-Man and Captain Britain number 243.
Yeah.
Which is a UK only comic.
Because if you don't remember, Captain Britain and Spider-Man were college roommates. Remember that?
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, corner box, we got Longshot standing there with the dog thing. What's the dog thing called again?
Pup. But
Pup.
Yeah, calls him Pup, but it's really Magog, I believe.
Yeah, and he's a bad guy sent to get Longshot back to Mojo World, right?
Right.
Yep. Yeah. He's kind of winning Longshot over, trying to gain his trust, I guess.
So on the cover here, we've got Longshot flying through the air. He's kind of in like I don't know what kind of pose you'd call this, but he's kind of just like he's like kind of drifting upwards. He's wearing this rocket pack, and behind him is Ricochet Rita, and she's dressed she almost looks like a Thor, like Valkyrie, right? She got wings,
like Lady Sif.
Yeah,
something like that.
And a big purple cape, or a pink cape, a pinkish purple cape, and then like a purple like kind of like like Asgardian type uniform with like gloves and boots, and her thighs are showing, her arms are showing, and her cleavage is showing. And the thing is, what's that?
Not nearly enough.
Yeah, not enough. But here's the thing is, I'm looking at this cover and I do love it. Now, here's the thing. It's supposed to be a night sky, but instead of being black, it's like dark blue. And there's all these streaks through the sky, which I suppose that's showing where they've been flying. But like Longshot's leaving a streak of whatever fire or energy in the air, and there's streaks all over the sky. But I'm pretty sure this is influenced by something Michael Golden would do, and I think that's why he did the cover this way. But I think this cover is great. Why don't you like it, Mike Dell?
I don't like it at all. Just a lot of too much negative space on the upper left, and a lot of blue everywhere.
Yeah, sky.
It just seems like it's not the good use of all the cover. It's like I don't know, could have been spaced and laid out better. But
what do you think, Jank?
I like it. I don't know how you could have laid this out much better. I mean, if you've tried to blow him up, then he's getting blocked by his own name.
But that's the thing. Like, why is it positioned like this in general? Like, I don't know. I just think I think if you look at the first 6 covers of the Longshot miniseries, cover 1 is good, cover 3 is good, and cover 6 is good, and 2, 4, 2, 4, and 5 are pretty bad. But
yeah, 5 has the same kind of problem, I guess, where it's a lot of just plain color in the background.
Yeah,
I mean, at least in this one, it makes sense. Like you're in the sky.
But it seems like it's
there can't be a lot of shit going up there. 2
figures, but not a cover. I don't know. Not so good. But look at his covers for 6, 1, and 3, and they are spectacular.
I still like. I mean, it's not perfect, but I like it. I like the idea behind it. I just like, and I can see McFarlane. I could see Rob Liefeld all looking at this and copying it. It's so obvious. But anyway. All right, now we jump into the issue, and we see a train. Oh, sorry, I want to talk about this logo. I love the logo on the cover.
Yeah,
it's great.
The main title, the Longshot font.
Yes, Longshot, the font, right? Oh, it's so good. Anyway.
Well, describe it. Why is it so good, Mike?
Oh, there you go. I thought, okay, there's no video here. I forgot. So basically, it kind of looks like, I don't know how you describe it, but almost like it's like someone's just painted the letters, LONGSHOT, but then it's, it's like they've added a, what is that called? Like in Photoshop. Like, oh, geez, help me out. What is it called when you have like an outline around something?
It's called an outline.
Yeah, an outline. There you go. So there's like a black outline of the letters and then a red outline outside of that. And it just looks so cool. I love it.
Yeah, and you mentioned the main letters are yellow. Did you say that?
Yeah, I didn't. I don't think I did. But yeah, the letters are yellow and then the outline thing is red. Black and then red. Yeah, I said that.
But it's almost like someone just almost kind of like graffiti-ish.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, kind of. You can see someone putting this on your T-shirt at one of those stands in the mall.
Right.
That's right.
Great. But anyway, so now jumping inside, we see this shot of a train moving along. And then Longshot, we see his hand, his three-fingered hand, coming out of the grass. And he's running along with his, this dog creature called Pup.
But look at the panel of the train going away there. One of the things he said he had trouble with early on was perspective. So here he's working on it. That's a good perspective shot. And I forgot to mention one of the guys responsible for really helping him out to understand how to draw comics, Jim Shooter. Jim Shooter sat him down.
Really?
Went over comic books with him and tried to explain storytelling to him. And because the big problem he was having was trying to put he wasn't putting enough action into each panel. Like he would have pages like 20 panels. Because he was trying to describe every little thing in his panel. And so Suter, and I can't remember, there's someone else who was trying to help him too, and I can't remember. But they would sit him down and say, no, you don't have to make a panel for everything. You can, this is how you tell the story. Just certain key actions and movements. So
you need a panel for each mouth motion and whatever he says.
Yes, he's doing too much. So our boy Jim Shooter had a big role in making him good. So there you go, Mike.
Yeah, sometimes he does the right thing. You guys talk a lot of shit about him, but
sometimes, yeah.
Well, Mike L does, not me. I never say his dialogue terrible.
Anyway, so yeah, we get this really cool shot of Longshot and Pup running along the side of this train, and like the camera is basically at floor level or ground level, and so we see this really cool shot of the side of this train as it's like
Worm's eye view, Mike L. Worm's
eye. Is that what it's called? Okay. Yeah, it looks great. I love this shot. Yeah. Anyway, I could look. I mean, I'm assuming that most of what we're going to talk about, we're going to gush over the art a lot.
Yes.
I'm not going to gush over the dialogue as much, but
less to praise there, that's for sure.
Yeah. So basically, they're running along, and they're kind of, they're just really talking about nonsense here. But then, But then they get so basically they're running into the middle of a scene that's being filmed for a movie. And
Longshot's trying to catch his train, and Longshot's like telling that Pup, that Magog guy, he's like, hey, I'm gonna beat you there, you can't keep up with me. And here he gets on the train and Pup's already up there. Like, what took you so long?
Yeah.
Do you want to describe what this Pup guy looks like, Michael?
Well, he's kind of like I don't know, he almost looks like
Snarf from the Thundercat?
Yeah, like Snarf, yeah. Or like a man with a pot belly, but like furry arms. Like he's all covered in fur, but he has the anatomy of a human, except with a huge pot belly. And he has like a face like a human, but with like big fur sticking out of his head and like a big beard, kind of like big teeth, big eyebrows. So kind of like a caricature. Oh yeah, almost like like Snarf or I don't even know what.
Because he's got claws and a tail as well,
right?
A spiked tail and weird little dude.
If Volstagg from Thor was like part beast,
right? There you go. Yep. And so there's this, we see this director dressed in a Captain America shirt and like a brown jacket with like a little baseball hat on. And we see this kind of cast and crew standing behind him. And we see two women dressed up as the character on the front. One of them is Ricochet Rita. We'll find out later. One of them, I guess, is the stunt double, right?
No, Ricochet.
She is their stunt double.
Oh, right. Okay. So he tries to jump on the train, and then so then he lands on the roof, and then we're cutting back to the director who's pissed off because he's like who's that on my set? He's ruined the shot, Rita. And then forget the wig, just get that jerk off my set. Go get him, Ricochet Rita. And so we see Rita sitting on this motorcycle, putting on her helmet, and then she's riding alongside this train. And Longshot and Pup are on top of the train. And then Ricochet Rita comes up.
But first, Michael, Longshot notices that Pup is starting to change.
Yes, because I hadn't reread number 1, so I didn't really know what he was getting at. Yeah, but Pup evolves through the whole series, basically, right?
Yeah, he's getting bigger. Like on this page, he's visually bigger than he was on the other pages, and he's getting more like muscular and mean looking.
Right. And Longshot's like, "Hey, Pup, what's with your tail? When did you grow spikes? What spikes? What tail? And sit still, that ridge in your back. What ridge? Oh, that ridge. It's always been there, right?"
Should have said like puberty is a special time in every boy's life.
Yeah.
He's becoming a man.
And so Ricochet Rita pulls up beside him as she's riding along, and then she's like, "Hey, hotshot!" But then in her thoughts, she's like, "Whoa, he is hot." And then he's like, "Who? Hey, Pup, hear what she called me?" And then Pup is gone, like disappeared, and he's like, "Gone. I hate it when he does that." And again, we said we're not going to really praise the dialogue as much as the art, and you could probably tell why. And then Ricochet Rita's like, "Catch me if you can, hotshot." And it's just back and forth. So then he jumps off, and not only does he land on the motorcycle, but he's standing on the motorcycle as she rides back to the cast and crew, right? And so then we get this cool double-page spread of the director standing with all the actors, and I'm sure some of those people on the right are cameos of real Marvel staff. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I would agree.
Yeah.
I don't know who they're supposed to be.
Who do you think the director is? He kind of looks like a young Stan Lee to me.
Yeah, exactly. Like a young Stan Lee. I would say that too. But yeah, I'm just kind of scanning through the people in this crowd. But anyway, so basically, he convinces Longshot to be in the movie, right?
Yeah, he fires the one.
Yeah,
he fires the one stuntman he has and replaces him.
Oh, right. Yeah, he fires not Ivan. Who's the other guy?
I don't know.
Yeah. So this guy. So it is Ivan. So then this guy gets fired. So Longshot gets his job. So then we cut over to the main actress, Kimberly Price. And she's getting all her makeup done, and she's she's in like a towel basically. And all these makeup artists are doing her hair and whatever. And then, and this is what I mean by Todd McFarlane. She comes out of the dressing room, and that is a Todd McFarlane Mary Jane to me, 100%. I'm not sure if you guys agree.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah.
This panel had the best dialogue of the whole book, I'll tell you that much. The things that the reporters are all shouting at her are fucking ridiculous. Is it true you rent your children? And then one guy just like says, "May I touch you?"
Oh, yeah. And then, are you seduced by your own legend? Do you have an update on what you ate for breakfast? Yeah, it's a little over the top.
I mean, I guess I couldn't say that if someone let me interview Elizabeth Olsen that I wouldn't be with "May I touch you?" But
right.
I hope I would not.
But again, this is 1985, and it is pretty common. Like that is pretty how much the media is today, like how they act about the Kardashians and everything. What'd you have for breakfast?
Yeah, I mean, it is a satire, so I guess we can forgive it because it is.
She's like, but look at the what's the word? Very prescient, right? You could see the future where the media culture was going.
Yes.
It would have been nice if this whole subplot with this aging actress actually went anywhere other than recur twice and just kind of no.
Well, and then there's the running joke that's not really funny where he keeps calling him Hotshot, and then Longshot has to keep saying, "My name's not Hotshot," but at this point he just gives up. He's like, "My name's not No, I'm not mad. Doing stunts is a kick. So then we get.
He knows his name could be Hotshot, though. Longshot's not even really his name. People started calling him that because I guess he was lucky.
Right,
so he's like, I don't even know who I am. Maybe I am.
That's
Hotshot.
right. Yeah, he has no memory. That's right. I forgot about that. So then we get to the part of the book that, I mean, happens on every movie set, which is they strap on rocket packs and start flying through the air.
Well, yeah, they have to they're going to be doing a stunt later with the rocket packs. So she's trying to show him how to do the little rocket packs there, and he draws Rita tremendously. Like she looks great.
Yeah.
That's probably his crush on Nocenti coming through, right?
Yeah.
But so yeah, basically now we see
that someone invented jetpacks in this universe, and then they're just like, "Hey, let's give them to movie sets. They need them."
Yeah, you're
also,
right.
Real life lasers later on.
Yeah,
we're gonna have that in the movie too.
Yes,
these movies are ridiculous.
She even tells them, "Look out for the lasers; they could kill you. They're real." What?
That's what I mean. It's like ridiculous, but whatever.
I also like that. I've never seen a yellow jetpack in my life. But now they're so popular that everyone on Earth and in Mojo World all uses yellow jetpacks.
Good point.
Yeah, because when they're flying around in the jetpacks, Longshot starts having flashbacks.
Well, yeah, we should say this is now the scene from the cover. This is what the cover is representing. So, except that Ricochet is dressed differently. So we to his flashback on Mojo World where he's flying around with Michael Jackson now. Yeah, he's in the middle of like a battle. They're shooting lasers. Oh, wait a minute. He actually does call him Jackson. Wow, I kind of forgot about that.
Yep.
So subtle, right? And then basically his friend
Michael Jackson having a battle.
What's that?
Lamal from Kajagoogoo and Michael Jackson.
And as you said, their what's it called? Backpacks or jetpacks are yellow. But then we cut to this. Look at this on the next page. That close up of Longshot. Rob Liefeld must have copied that 1,000 times. Like the big, grinny teeth with the tears and the. It's been copied so many times, but that's fine. So then he's like, "Okay,
there's no feet in there, so it was easy for Rob."
What's that?
There was no feet in that panel, so it was easy for Rob.
Right. So then now he's mad because they killed his friend Jackson. I'll kill you, you spineless creeps in your blasted movies, right? Because that's what happens here.
Yeah.
And so yeah, he's attacking these guys, but then it cuts back to the present, so we don't know how that played out. And he's basically almost passing out.
From Michael Jackson.
Yeah. So then Ricochet is like, "Oh no, he's out of control. Longshot, wake up! Hey, snap out of it!" So now they're fine. They land back on the ground. And then they go back to the set, and then this is the lead actress now. She's having problems with her face, I guess. She's like, "My face, I'm losing my face." I don't even remember what happens. Does anything come out of that?
No, I don't even know why that was happening. Like I thought, maybe he was flying the jetpack too close to her and it melted or something, or he just knocked water on her or something. But no, nothing. It's just all of a sudden. I guess it's a hot day, and it all of a sudden starts melting at once. And it looks like she has like large scabs on her face. I don't know what kind of aging actress. Just not like wrinkles. She's got just massive wounds.
Yeah, well, I think it's just all her makeup is melting off. But yeah, it does look like she has scabs. But I don't know what that means. Like she's sunburned underneath all the makeup. I don't know. But do you think that's Longshot's lucky power kicking in because he's kind of like getting mouthy with her? Then it doesn't seem like his intent is that pure, though. You know what I mean?
No.
Could be.
He's just staring down an old woman.
Yeah, he's just kind of because what does he say here? Young man, you can't keep a star like me waiting. We had a scene to go over. What's really bugging you, Miss Price? You wonder why I don't fawn all over you? What? Longshot. And what's a superstar? It's a horror. It's like offering your soul to the public. It steals your anonymity. It exposes all that's private to the public. Fame is a curse. It's a shameful job. So yeah, Longshot's being a dick.
Well, that's clearly Nocenti criticizing, the movie industry, right?
Yeah, this is all her ripping up pop culture.
Right.
But yeah, so I don't know. Like if his luck powers, they shouldn't be working there because he's being a dick.
Yeah.
Unless it's because he's protecting Ricochet Rita by taking the piss out of this lady. Maybe that's the only thing I could stretch the credibility to cover.
Maybe. At least he does say, "Oh, was I teared off?" when Rita questioned it. So I don't know. But that didn't seem very long-shotty when he talking.
No.
Okay. All right, so Michael, the director's back, and he's describing a scene. Oh yeah, he makes Longshot sign a contract.
Right. Yeah.
$1 million stuntman, because you know those stuntmen in Hollywood, they make a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah. So sign this release absolving me of all responsibility for your safety, and I will make you $1 million stuntman. And Longshot's like, "Is that a lot of money?" Funny kid. And then he's like, "They're sure coming out weird these days." So then we cut over.
Earlier when the director is just like, "Hey, don't you want to make money, kid?" And he's just like, "Oh yeah, someone told me I should get some of that."
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. So then we cut over to one of my favorite scenes in the book, and that's where Longshot is now in a motel with Ricochet Rita.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And she's chilling out on the bed, just laying back, looking good. And outside is Pup, and then we see that, as you would when you have yellow jetpacks, you just leave them outside, right? Leaned up against, the wall. And so they're chatting back and forth, whatever. And then, Art Adams' little fantasy comes true, and Ricochet Rita comes over and kisses Longshot on the mouth. And then this is the weirdest part about Longshot. Then she's like, "Your skin like leather." Longshot, "I don't think you're not human." And then he's like, "What? Of course I am. I'm just like you." And then we hear a crash, and he's like, "From out back." And then,
well, Michael, the key point there is after she says, "You're not human," she storms out.
Yes. She storms out, and
what?
He's
like she didn't notice he had 3 fingers on each hand.
Yeah.
Any fun?
And not even like stumps where they used to be. Just he's got this weird, penguin-like hand.
Right.
He can jump off a moving train and land on a motorcycle and stand.
Stand. You're right. Right.
He has a haircut like Kajagoogoo, but you think he's human? What is going on? But anyway, yeah. So Longshot's going to go after her, but he hears a crash outside. Michael, and what happened?
Well, he's like, "Oh, someone's been messing with our jetpacks," and we see the jetpacks have been knocked over. And then he steps out and he's like, "It's too quiet out here." And then all of a sudden, all these bad guys show up.
And they kind of look like Micronaut bad guys, don't they? Like
totally, which in turn now look like Rob Liefeld bad guys, unfortunately. yeah, I get your point. And then basically they're like, they kind of start attacking him, and he's like, "Oh, what, Pup? You got them all." Yeah, no, because Pup comes in and actually attacks them, and then he's like, "Pup, you got them all. Pup, you're different, bigger." Again, the dialogue. We're not going to talk about it. But then Pup is like, "Different? How so? What you looking at me like that for? Come on in." And now he's like as tall as a human, well, taller. And he invites Pup in. Pup goes straight to the fridge and starts pulling out beer, right? So he's drinking beer, getting like bread and stuff, making a snack. And then what's her name? Ricochet Rita. Now she's back. She's like, "Hi, I felt bad about leaving before." It was like a 30-second.
I'm sorry that we were making out, and I said that your skin is gross and you're not human, and I left. But now I'm back 2 minutes later to apologize. I'm sorry.
Right, and then she's like, "Yeah, Rita, come on in. Remember my puppy friend I told you about? He says puppies can't talk. Hey." That's no puppy. That's a midget in a fursuit, isn't it?
And then she just storm out again. Because like, if you're friends with this little midget in a fursuit, I'm out of here. I don't know what stuff you're into, buddy.
And I love
how I get my rocks off.
And then I love how Pup's like, "Women, same in every dimension, always spoiling the fun," right? But it's okay because it's written by women, so we can accept that. And then he's like, "I'm your pal. What more do you need to know? We were pals before, and we'll all be." And he's like, "Before what? If you're not from this earth, then neither am I. And you must know who I am. You've been holding out." And then he's like, "A demon can't even finish his hot dog in peace." This comic is really weird. Anyway,
Yes, it is.
He's lucky he didn't finish that hot dog. It would have taken a year off his life.
Yeah, this is like too weird to explain. So he's trying to get information out of Pup. And as he's doing, he's like grabbing his tail and he's like, all right, I'll tell you what I know about you. And then he's like, I hate you. That's all I know. And then he just storms away. It's really weird.
He punches
him. Yeah, kapow. Then he storms away.
He cracks under pressure like no one I've ever seen.
Right, right.
One question, he's like, fuck it, I hate you.
Yeah, right.
This whole plan's out the window.
Well, I used to do the same thing in school.
Yeah.
Punch my teacher, say I hate you, and storm off.
That's the only thing I know. And then it's funny because then Rita's like, go after him. And then Longshot's, no. He was my one and only friend, Rita. I love that puppy. Trusted him. Why'd he turn on me? He wasn't your only friend. I'm here. And then Longshot says, she's so sweet, but so was he. I can't get close to anybody again because you never know.
Yeah, he's thinking that.
Yeah, he's thinking that. He's thinking that in his thought bubble. Then it cuts over.
Say that to her face.
The biggest movie set on this side of like Cleopatra. Like we've got this schmuck director in a Captain America shirt, and it looks like basically Castle Grayskull.
Yeah,
like a gigantic, castle with all this stuff around it. And this director is he's got his little clipboard, his Captain America clipboard there, and basically he's got all the actors around, so he's trying to get them to go into action. So I guess now they're going to use the rocket packs, right?
Yeah, so I guess this is actually the cover because Longshot's not. It's weird because Ricochet Rita's dressed properly, but Longshot's dressed like the character in the movie, not up like the cover. So it's like
he's kind of like a He-Man guy.
It's one of those representative covers.
Yeah.
And then you know what? I just noticed this. There's this weird. Did you notice at the top of this page? There's like a little drawing sticking out of the top of the page. You see that? Like page 18, original 18.
Yeah, the little guy with the hatchet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that is either. It looks
like it's part of the art, but it's like separated from the top of the panels or something. That's weird.
Yeah.
Really weird. Anyway.
Jank, are you reading the digital copy?
No, I'm looking at the paper one.
So I guess you don't have a little guy with a hatchet there?
I don't think so. No, I'm not seeing anything.
Yeah, there's a little dude with a hatchet. That's strange.
Some bonus they threw in there.
Yeah, this looks like a scan from the original comic, so who knows? I don't know.
It definitely looks like that little guy was drawn by Art Adams there, right?
Right, 100%, yeah. So anyway, they're flying around, and they land on top of this thing, and then this guy's complaining.
She mentions the lasers, too. Doesn't she say...
watch
it, Longshot. The lasers are real. They can kill.
Right, ridiculous.
All the movie sets have those.
Yeah. It's like Dr. Doom must be producing this movie or something.
Right. And Longshot actually is dodging the lasers. Like we see that, like him, like do like a what is that called? Like do the splits. And like 3 lasers almost, burn his scrotum off, but they just miss him. So then they land on top of the set, and he's like, Longshot's like, something's off. I don't quite have it. Have what? It. Don't be so cryptic. Explain. You have great skill up there. No, you have skill. I have something else. People say I'm lucky. Maybe, but you're also silly. Because this is how people talk, right? So, so then the director's like, restart the lasers. And then, of course, they shoot Longshot because they're actual lasers. And he gets shot in the face, and he's bleeding.
It was all going fine till he started to question himself, and is like, wait, is it a good moral motive to be trying to get money? Right.
If
you just hadn't thought that, I think you would have been all right.
Ridiculous. So motives, he's like flashing back, motives. So then he flashes back to, I guess this is Mojo World. And then he's kind of like in the middle of this, looks like a big ritual with all these guys standing around, all these hooded guys with like this cauldron or whatever. And one of the guys is holding Longshot, like his entire face. And the guy is holding up a, whatever you call this, like a
brand.
A brand, yeah. And the brand has a star shape on the end of it, right?
Longshot is the star brand. New universe crossover.
There you go. And he's just about to brand Longshot, but then he screams, and then it cuts back to the present of him getting shot by these lasers.
He's still getting shot by lasers.
Right, he's still getting shot. So then the director's all upset, not because someone's hurt, but because he might get sued, right? He's like, blast, that contract he signed is illegal. He could sue the pants off of me, and if he dies... So then they shove Longshot into the back of this pickup truck, and is it Rita? No, the director. Oh yeah, this is my favorite scene. So then the director is supposedly going to drive him to the hospital, but he does what anyone would do, which is just dump him into a river instead, and hope that he drowns, right?
Yeah, like the director tells everybody, don't worry, all you medical personnel, I got this. I'll take care of it. Just put him in the back of the truck and I'll drive him off in the country. Don't worry. I'll fix him right up. And he just takes him to like...
Because I'll do this alone.
Yeah.
Gotta hide it. Get rid of it. I'll take it to the river. Dump it. He's talking about like it's Longshot. He's calling him an it. Yeah, and did Rita know? Of course she did. Dump it. Gotta dump it. And he just throws him in a swamp.
Right. Yeah. And then you see Longshot all bloodied, just sinking down to the swamp. And in the last shot, we see like kind of like his foot and his leg sticking out. And then the guy's like freaking out the director. He's like, sink, his lungs will fill with water. I can't breathe. He's rising. Don't look at me. He sees me. Don't look at me. That's the end.
Yeah. It's such a weird ending. It's so strange.
This is the weirdest fucking movie set I've ever seen in my life.
So the next issue, the little yellow box. How do you save someone's life who doesn't want to be saved? More demon madness and other wild stuff. Next, in Jinx. And then below that it says, did you enjoy Longshot? Write us a letter. We want to know what you think.
Apparently not enough people wrote in. They would have got that ongoing series.
So yeah, there it is. Longshot issue 2.
Yikes. Yep.
that was rough. Listen.
The writing is a little sketch.
We're on the record here on Flea Market Fantasy. Mike L and I, we both love Ann Nocenti.
Yes.
Right? That's just the way it is. We love her.
Sure.
So that's all I'm going to say about it.
All right. Yes. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, she's got some very good stuff and then some very bad stuff.
Like I said, the concept here, what she was trying to accomplish was excellent. With Mojo World and all that stuff, the social commentary, great. But the actual dialogue and the characters and how the scenes come together never really works.
Yes.
It almost seems like she's just forcing things to happen. Like that director at the end, like just out of the blue, he says, "Oh my God, that contract's illegal. I got to go, dump him in a swamp." What? Where did this come from? It just seemed like there was no lead into that whatsoever. It just, I don't know. It was just all things were just shoehorned into place where they had to be in order to get where she wants to go. But she's not telling a coherent story here. Yeah,
she seems a little bit scattered, which I think was what made like her writing with the whole like Typhoid Mary stuff so good. Because that's what that character's all about. Is she's just fucking nuts. So I think her writing worked very well on that stuff. And then something like this, maybe not quite as much.
It's like a lot of good ideas, but she doesn't know how to get them into a story necessarily.
Yeah, like I loved her Daredevil run as a kid, and I think it's because it stood out from everything else. It was really different, but it is really hard to get through because the dialogue is so like stilted and weird, and it's like like you said, the plot doesn't flow naturally, right? The scenes don't play out naturally. Everything feels shoehorned together, kind of.
Yeah, like there's no reason for Rita to just storm out of the hotel room when she finds out he has leathery skin.
Right.
Oh my God, you're not human. Wait, what? What is happening here? And then she comes back a minute later. Sorry about that.
I felt bad. Yeah.
Leather people are people too.
It's just so strange. A lot of this is so strange. But I kind of like the pup thing. Like him, Pup was intriguing. Is Pup? Is he interesting the rest of the way, Jank? Does he anything good?
Yeah, he's not bad. There's not a whole lot there. He's just a villain pretty much. I don't think he has a big redemption arc or anything like that. It's just he hates Longshot and he continues to hate Longshot.
I also really didn't like Longshot in this. I mean, if I can be honest, like I said, when he was like a dick to that actress, and just a lot of like, I don't know. I remember Longshot as always being like naive, innocent, always lovable and likable, but this guy here is kind of like not that yet. I guess it's still early on in his
beginning of the issue. He kind of was, but then he did kind of start getting dickish and kind of morose about his memory loss. But I like it when he's more happy-go-lucky and just kind of winging it.
He was more like a teenage angst emo kid or something here instead of always positive, looking on the bright side of things. Longshot.
That's what's so great about him is he's always like. His life generally sucks, but he just doesn't care. He's just got a good attitude about it.
That's right. But here it seems
like
he's a tormented soul, and this isn't the Longshot that I like. I don't.
Yeah, I agree. I think Claremont helped out with Longshot quite a bit.
And we talked about Art Adams here. Again, this is like the first stuff he was ever doing, so you can see the hints of genius. But you also see there's a lot of panels where you're like, this is a young artist.
Yes, definitely.
But when he's on, it still looks really good. But there are a lot of panels where it's like, this is just a young artist.
Yeah, I think the closest, because we on Spidercast, we reviewed issues 3 and 4, I think. And it just felt like the closest thing I can compare to is like an interesting B movie from the 80s, Like one of those movies that it's clearly not like well done, but there's a lot of interesting ideas thrown in, or there's enough cool stuff that it makes you want to go back and watch it again, but it's technically not that good,
Yeah, I can.
Yeah,
can concur.
That's probably pretty accurate.
Yeah.
What else to say about this, Jank? Any other thoughts about Longshot?
I'm a big fan of the art. The faces all look pretty great. Like the director, he looks very just different than other people in Longshot, especially with those like sunken in cheekbones. He's like very James Marsters-esque. Like it's just such a unique look.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, and he draws Ricochet Rita. She always looks good.
Yeah,
because like for those who've never seen Art Adams' style, it's kind of cartoony, but it's
super detailed.
But it's a nice blend of cartoony and comic book and realistic comic books.
Right.
Like when he's at his peak,
Right.
And it looks like Will Sportasio did the inking on here, so that probably makes it a little bit different too, because he's got a very distinctive style as well. So the two of those together.
Yeah, and for those
interesting combo.
That was another Image guy, right, Micah?
Right. Yes.
What did he do at Image?
Wetworks.
Wetworks, yeah. And I knew him from Punisher War Journal, right?
Right. And he also did X-Men.
Yep.
X Factor, then Uncanny X-Men, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even remember his Uncanny X-Men. What was he? When was that?
It's when Jim Lee started on X-Men, he started on X Factor around the same time. He gave X Factor a brief set of new costumes that were only used for a year, and they were all yellow and blue with the X, kind of like Cyclops' costume. And then when Jim Lee moved to X-Men #1, he took over Uncanny with I think 281, and that was that would have been like when it was now Colossus, Storm, Jean Grey, Iceman, and then a couple issues later they introduced Bishop, and that was basically the team. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't reading during those days. I think my first run ended around 250 or so around there. But then I went back and I got some of those Bishop issues, and all right, so I remember those now.
Yeah. Okay. They're fun. They were fun at the time, definitely.
I liked them.
Because what wasn't like Omega Red around that same time?
Yeah, Jim Lee. Yeah.
X-Men #4.
Yeah.
Red was cool. All right, so there it is, Longshot. I don't know, Micah. What do you think? 1 out of 10.
Whew, I don't know. It is hard to. It's like I guess I'll give it a 5, maybe 5.5, just because at least it's original. It's not really like anything else. Not just the art. Obviously, the art's great, but even though the story is all over the place, at least it's different. Like I feel like I can go back and read it, and even though it's a little bit of a chore to get through, at least there's some interesting ideas in here. So yeah, I'll give it a 6.
Wow, Jank?
I think I'm gonna go with 6 as well. I'd give the art probably a 9. So I don't know what the story would have to be to equal out to a 6, but yeah, I would go about there. I did like the overall story here. The fact of like Longshot, where he comes from, and like getting it sucked into this movie set that's kind of like his home world, where he was basically in movies there, and now he's in a movie here, and it kind of gives him flashbacks. Like, that's all very cool, and I like it. And the mystery of who this character is set up well. It's just the minutia of the plot and the dialogue and stuff that doesn't quite work. So I think I would go a 6 as well.
Yeah, I'll go 5. I like the concept, like we're saying. Well, this is still great. It's Art Adams, so it's good. It's not great Art Adams, though. It's young Art Adams. There's a lot to be desired, I think, for a lot of it. But it's still fun to read, and for just to see him at such a young age in his first works. So I would definitely recommend everyone should check it out just to see early Art Adams. But, I can't say I enjoyed reading it.
Yeah.
Not enough punching for you. But, I knew that was going to happen.
Not enough punching at all. But so I'm middle of the road. I appreciate what they're trying to do. I like the concept, but the execution failed a bit. But,
right.
So give it a 5 for originality and talent. But
Mike Dell's racist against leather people, so add into account.
Well, apparently not, because I love Sybil Dannings, and you say she's made of leather. So I don't know what's going on.
Old alligator shoes.
Oh, there you go. All right, Michael. So next week, it's your pick.
Woo! Been waiting the whole time to talk about this. Next week, we're going to stay in 1985, but we're going to move over to DC Comics, and we're going to talk about one of my favorite comics, written by Mike W. Barr, drawn by Jim Aparo. We're going to talk about The Outsiders.
Good Lord.
Kevin James, do you know The Outsiders?
Was Batman in it? Or is this...
Yeah. This isn't Pony Boy and Soda Pop and...
no. See, this team was started...
the cat in there, or the Cat Man or something like that?
No. See, the team was founded by Batman, but at this point, he'd already left. So the team is all your favorites. Geoforce, Katana, Halo, Looker, Metamorpho, and Black Lightning, okay?
I like Black Lightning. But, Michael, isn't Looker just like a foxy lady? That's what they called her, Looker.
Yeah, I think she has a power. I can't remember what it is, though. So.
Yeah, she's foxy.
Is her real name Ann Nocenti?
Shout out to Anne again. I hope she's listening. Anyway, maybe not.
We don't hope she's listening.
Yeah.
But, all our best to Anne. All right. So, what issue of The Outsiders did you say?
I'll have you know we are doing The Outsiders #1 from 1985.
Are you sure you don't want to do issue 33, Michael? Maybe issue 33.
Okay, why would I want to do 33? We're doing #1, which is volume 2, the Baxter Paper series. That's the one we're doing. Woo! Right.
Is Batman in this one?
No, Batman's not in it. Nope.
Thank you.
Oh,
yeah,
you're doing him a solid right there.
Yes, I appreciate that. All right. Well, a big thank you to Kevin Jank, Mr. 8 times.
Yeah.
Thank you, buddy.
I'll keep racking them up whenever you guys will have me back.
Well, I'm sure next time Michael wants to do a Dopey Superman, you'll get the call.
Woo!
Till next week. Can't wait.
All right. So join us again next week. We'll be reviewing another Bronze Age comic. Every week we do a different one. 1 week I pick, 1 week Mike Dell picks. You can find episodes of Flea Market Fantasy on Spotify, Stitcher, or Apple Podcasts under Comic Book Syndicate. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, or the Comic Book Syndicate website. So until next Tuesday, disperse!